This video is to help people win more while playing blackjack at Caesar's Interactive Casino. Since no money can be paid to the players, it is not really gambling. The sums referred to are imaginary amounts. They make their money by selling chips to players. This is a common selling technique where they give you some for free and they hope that you start paying for them. I am at a level 129 and have not paid them anything. This video will have two parts. First, I will tell you what the rules are, and then I will explain basic strategy in blackjack. Basic strategy in blackjack is the optimum way to play your cards if the only information you have is what card the dealer has that you can see and what cards you have. There are many rule variations in blackjack at various casinos. The version of basic strategy that will be given in this video is tailored to the rules of Caesar's Interactive Casino. Caesar's Interactive Casino has two rules that are not usually found elsewhere. Because you do not know when the deck is shuffled, you cannot card count. In blackjack, all the cards are given a value. 2s are 2, 3s are 3, 4s are 4, 5s are 5, 6s are 6, 7s are 7s, 8s are 8s, 9s are 9s, 10s are 10s, jacks are also 10s, queens are 10s, kings are 10s. For the rest of this video, when I refer to 10s, I will also be referring to the three face cards. Then aces can count as either 1 or 11. At Caesar's Interactive Casino, you can play 1 to 3 hands at the same time. For efficiency purposes, I prefer to play 3 hands at a time. The play starts with each player being given a card. The dealer then gives himself and exposes a card. That is called the up card. The players then get one more card. The card that you cannot see that the dealer had is called the hole card. The object of the game is to get a point total closer to 21 than the dealer gets. However, if the player goes over 21, they lose and the dealer takes their chips. This is called busting. Even if the dealer later goes over 21, the player who busted does not get their chips back. This rule is the rule that gives the casino the edge in blackjack. If the player gets closer to 21 than the dealer does, then they get paid the amount they wagered unless they get an ace and a 10, which is a blackjack. If they get a blackjack, they get paid 3 to 2. A blackjack beats a 21 obtained in other ways. If the player has the same value as the dealer, then neither is paid. This is called a push. If the dealer goes over 21, they bust, and they pay all hands that have not busted. If the dealer does not bust and gets closer to 21 than the player, then the house wins and takes the amount wagered by the player. At Caesar's Interactive Casino, you are given points based on how much you wager and how often you play. As you go up and get more points, your level goes up. After you get to level 20, you will be given the surrender option in blackjack. When you have been dealt your first 2 cards, you will be given a number of options. First, you can take another card. This is referred to as hitting. You can continue to take cards until you get 21 or higher, or you choose to take no more cards. Choosing to take no more cards is called standing. With regards to your first two cards, another option you have is to stand. That means you take no cards. Another option you have is to double down. Double down refers to doubling your bet and getting exactly one more card. I have also played at the Double Down Casino. I get the feeling that some of the players think if you have a good hand you should double your bet. If you have two cards of the same value, you can split them, essentially playing two hands. Caesar's Interactive Casino has 4 rules that are not normal with regards to splitting. First, they do not allow you to resplit cards. Second, they do not allow you to double down on splits. There are 2 good rules. That is, if you split aces and get a 10, that is a blackjack. Also, contrary to what happens in most casinos, if you split aces, you can get more than one card. If you split tens and get an ace, that is paid as a blackjack also. Another potential option is surrender. What surrender means that when you have your first 2 cards, you can surrender your hand and the dealer takes half your wager and the hand is over. If the dealer has an ace as an up card, you will be given the option of taking insurance. The cost of an insurance bet is 1/2 of what you wagered. If the dealer's whole card is a 10 and you take insurance, you get to keep both your insurance bet and your wager. If you do not take insurance and the dealer's whole card is a 10, you lose your wager. However, if you also have a blackjack, then it is a push and you do not get paid 3-2, you just get to keep your wager. Insurance is not a good bet in general. There are 4 ways that the dealer can have a whole card be a 10. That would be a 10, jack, queen, or king. There are 9 ways that it can be something other than a 10. That would be an ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So that means you will win the insurance bet 4 of 13 times and save 4 wagers. However, if you lose the insurance bet 9 times out of 13 times, and since your insurance bet is 1/2 a wager, by taking insurance it will cost you 4.5 wagers to save 4 wagers. Once you have surrendered, doubled down, busted, or stood, the dealer will turn over their whole card. They will then take cards until they reach 17. At Caesar's Interactive Casino, they stand on saw 17, which is good for their player. After they have 17 or over or busted, they will reconcile the bets. If the player did not bust and it is closer to 21 than the dealer, they will be paid 1 for 1 for the amount wagered, unless they have a blackjack, in which case they will be paid 3 for 2. If the dealer has the same number of points as the player and the player does not bust, it is called a push and neither side is paid. If the player has fewer points than the dealer or the player busts, the dealer will take the chips. I will now go over a few hands and show you how the rules work. This hand has already been dealt out. If the player was over level 20 and had the surrender option, they should surrender against the dealer's ace. However, we'll play this out as if they're not over level 20. And since they're at 16, they'll take another card and they will bust. Here's a pair of aces, they'll split them, they get a blackjack and a 19, so they'll stand on both of that, and this is a 20, so they'll stand, and that's an 18, so this hand would lose, and the other two hands would be paid. Since this hand is a blackjack, this one would be paid 3-2, this one would be paid even up, and this one would be paid even up 2. This player would stand on a 19. This player has 10, so they would double down and receive one more card. This is a blackjack again. The dealer's whole card is a 10. And the 2, so they have 17. So they would pay this one, take these, and pay this one 3-2. I will now go over basic strategy for blackjack at Caesar's Interactive Casino. If the dealer has a 2 to 3 up, then you hit until your card is 13. Do not hit above a 13. If the dealer's card is a 4 to 6, then you hit until your total is 12. That's the highest card you hit is 12. If you hit to 12, that means you'll never bust. If the dealer's got a 7 to ace up, then you hit until you've got 17. You do not ever take insurance at Caesar's Interactive Casino. There's an asterisk here. If you look here, it says if the dealer has a 10 up, then if you have more than 2 cards, you stand on a 16. That's for 10 only, and that's if you have more than 2 cards. Then for splitting, if you have 2 aces, you always split them. If you have 2 9s, then you split them 2 to 9, except if the dealer has a 7 up, then you stand on it. If there's 2 8s, you always split them. If you have 2 7s, then you split them 4 to 7. There's 2 more asterisks. If the dealer has a 10 up and you have 2 7s, then you stand. If you have 2 6s, then you hit if the dealer's up card is a 3 to 6. If you have 2 3s, then you hit if the dealer's up card is a 4 to 7. If you have 2 2s, then you hit if the dealer's up card is a 4 to 7. With regards to soft hands, that is when the dealers or the ace can still count as an 11 or 1. Then if the dealer has a 9 or 10 up, then you hit to 19. For all other hands, you hit to soft 18. In the event you're hitting soft hands and you go over, then you follow the regular hitting rules. There's also 3 more asterisks. and they say double down if you can. That would apply to a situation where you have an ace 7 and the dealer has a 3 to 6. Then you double down instead of standing, as this rule would tell you to. With regards to double downs, if your total is 11, then you double down 2 to 10. If your total is 10, then you double down 2 to 9. If your total is 9, then you double down 3 to 6. If you have an ace 7 or an ace 6, then you double down 3 to 6. If you have an ace 5 or an ace 4, you double down 4 to 6. If you have an ace 3 or an ace 2, you double down on 5 and 6. If you've gotten to level 20, then you can have the surrender option. So if the dealer has a 10 up, you surrender 15 and 16. There's 4 more asterisks. Looking at those 4 asterisks, they indicate that you split 8s if you have 8s, which would be a total of 16, but you split them instead of surrendering them. For if you have the dealer has a 9 or ace up, then you surrender 16s, but the same 4 asterisks. So if you have a pair of 8s, which is 16, you split them instead of surrendering. And at the Caesars Interactive again, you never take insurance, and that's how basic strategy is played at Caesars Interactive Casino. What seems to be working for me is I divide my current chip total by 90 and bet that amount per hand and play 3 hands. This has allowed me to get up to level 129 without purchasing anything from Caesars Interactive Casino. In the event this video has been useful to you, could you be so kind as to click on the ad that accompanies it? Depending on your level at Caesars Interactive Casino, you get a certain number of chips per every 5 minutes you play. Keep your eye on your experience level points and collect these points for playing for minutes before you go up to the next level, because you are given the maximum number of chips when you go up a level. If you want to go to the next step up and go to a real casino and card count, I am selling a DVD on eBay for $8.99 with free shipping, which is the cost of 2 red chips at a casino. If you do not know how to card count, this DVD would be well worth your money.